Good afternoon, one and all, and a warm welcome. The Directorate General of Taxpayer Services, DGTS, CBIC, Bengaluru Zonal Unit, conducting various training programs for the benefit of the taxpayers. Today also we are conducting one such webinar to give more awareness to the taxpayers. So the Director General of Taxpayer Services, Bengaluru Zonal Unit, in association with All India Federation of Tax Practitioners, AFTP, Southern Zone, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, Kerala State Council, Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industry, CCST, Kerala, Karnataka State Tax Practitioners Association, KSTPA, Karnataka, Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association, KSCIA, Bengaluru, invites you all to this webinar on the topic GST Amnesty Scheme under Section 128A of CGST Act 2017 and overview. To presenting today's program, we have highly talented faculty from our department. Also, to make the question and answer session, we have senior officers of our department. Before we start the program, I have some important announcement. Microphones of all the participants are muted to avoid in-between disturbances during webinar. At the end of the webinar, we have a question and answer session which will be attended by our expert panelist. So I request the audience to upload your queries in the chat box, which is open now, and the same will be noted and passed on to the expert panelist. The questions should be confined only to today's topic. The questions other than today's topic will not be entertained. I repeat, the questions should be confined only to today's topic. Now for the inaugural address, we have with us Ms. Rakshana IRS, Joint Director, DGTS BZU. I request ma'am to address the gathering with the inaugural address. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ebenezer ji, and welcome everybody to this next webinar of DGTS Bangalore Zonal Unit. Today's topic of amnesty scheme we have touched upon in earlier webinars as well. This was first initiated in the 53rd GST Council meeting, and thereafter some details came in 55th, and then we've had certain notifications and circulars and legal provisions which have given way to how this scheme will be panned out. This is a taxpayer friendly measure, and we have received questions about this multiple times in the previous webinars as well. So we thought we'll take another session that will help resolve your doubts and help you take benefit of this scheme. As Mr. Bhatt had mentioned, yes, if you've already made the payments, then this might not be of great use. However, it is still a very good taxpayer friendly measure given by the government, of which several beneficiaries would definitely be there in the country and in Bangalore zone. So I sincerely hope that this webinar would be of use to all the listeners. And if there are any doubts about the scheme and its legal provisions and procedures, then we would be able to resolve them at the end of this session. As Mr. Ebenezer has already mentioned, you can continue to put your doubts, and our faculty for today would be looking at these to clarify your doubts. With that, I welcome all of you and I hand it back to Mr. Ebenezer.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm inaugural address. For the nation's growth, the involvement of the trade and industry is most important. In today's program, as I have already mentioned, there are a number of dignitaries representing the trade bodies, and it is our privilege to hear from them. Today's topic is very important and useful one. The topic speaker needs more time to cover the entire topic. So I request the trade representative to take 2 to 3 minutes for their guest speech to give more time to the topic speaker. Thank you. We have with us Sri Jafar Ali Sulaiman, Chairman, AFTP, Southern Zone. I request Sri Jafar Ali to address the gathering. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Respected Sri Amar Kumar Sinha, ARS, Additional Director General of DGTS, Bangalore Zonal Unit, Sri Regit Tom Anthony, Senior Member, Taxation Subcommittee, FICCI, Kerala State Council, Sri Prakash Iyer, Managing Committee Member, CCC and I, Kerala, Sri Nanjuta Prasad, President, KSTPA, Karnataka, Sri Deepak P, India Tax Committee Convener, KSCAA, Bangalore, and today's topic speaker, Sri Venkateshan IRS, Assistant Commissioner of Retired, CGST, Chennai. Other officials, dignitaries, and fellow tax practitioners who are participating in today's webinar, a warm good afternoon to all. I'm so grateful to the DGTS for providing me an opportunity to speak a few words today on behalf of AIFTP regarding the GST amnesty scheme under Section 128A of the CGST Act 2017. This new Section 128A provides for a waiver of interest and penalty relating to demands pertaining to the financial year 2017, 18, 18, 19, and 19, 20 under Section 73 of this CGST Act subject to certain conditions. The introduction of this scheme has significant importance for the dealers who are having arrears for the above period. In order to qualify for this scheme, the taxpayer has to pay the full amount of tax before 31/3/2025 and has to file an application on or before 30th June 2025. Two separate forms, SPL 01 and 02, has been prescribed. It may be seen that hardly 1 month's time is remaining for payment of tax under the scheme. So the taxpayers must understand the scheme and need to check whether they are eligible for the scheme. I am sure that a large number of dealers will benefit by the scheme, and hence it becomes necessary for such dealers to understand the methodology of filing, the application, and the manner of payment of tax. I am sure that this webinar would definitely give them enough knowledge and awareness regarding the complaints. I would also like to bring two issues to the attention of the speaker, that while uploading the supporting documents, the system is accepting file name containing alphanumeric only, whereas the GST suggests to save the file name with a special character. It may be due to some technical issues. The second issue, there seems to be some contradiction between circular number 238 and section 128A. Section 128A speaks about waiver of interest and penalty for demands raised under section 73. But clarification given in serial number 4 of para 4 of the circular says that this benefit shall not be applicable in cases of delayed filing of returns or delayed reporting of any supply in the returns, since this relates to self-assessed liability and does not pertain to any demand of tax due and is directly recoverable under subsection 12 of section 75. So I would request the speaker to kindly clarify the above aspect during the class or in the question and answer session. Before I conclude, on behalf of my organization AIFTP Subzone, I congratulate the entire team of DGTS behind today's webinar and also request them to conduct more series like this, which will be very helpful to all. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Today, due to some urgent meeting, Rajit Anthony, senior member FICCI, is not joining now. We will join in due course. We have with us DM Bhattar, State Convener, KSTPA Karnataka. I request Bhattar to address the gathering. Sir, over to you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Ebenezer, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm grateful for participating as a guest speaker from KSTPA on this webinar. I congratulate our Additional Director General of Taxpayers Services, Sri Amar Kumar Sinha, and the other guest speakers, and also the topic speaker, Mr. Venkateshwaran sir. Hope he will teach us and guide us in proper way so that take benefit of this amnesty scheme. Amnesty scheme, as our AFTP South Zone Chairman, Mr. Jafar Ali sir, is already explained about it. No need to again repeat the same points. For the other points which I wanted to bring to your notice, which is other than the panel, this thing, only a recommendation from our side for 74 section, whatever orders are passed, would have been converted into 73. That would have been a great advantage, great help for the dealers, because 74, whatever you have taken, it is of emerging for the traders without any pointing out. Anyway, this is not the forum for talk about that, but still, just for your information, I'm just posting that. And time limit for given this 31st March also request to extend the time limit, because lot of cases which were SCN and all is given in 2 years back. Now, in the 7th of February, they have issued OIO. That means the department also taken very lenient in issuing OIOs. So for that reason, I request if your authority, your good office can request for the extension, would be grateful. And coming with the end of my speech, I am very much thankful. KSTPA is thankful for providing us this opportunity. And even All India Federation, also I am thankful for giving this chance. Thank you, Ebenezer sir. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Your suggestion well noted, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
have with us Sri Prakash Iyer, Managing Committee Member, CCC and I, Kerala. I request Sri Prakash Iyer to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, Ebenezer sir.
Well, good afternoon, sir.
Chief guest of the day, Rajna madam, and my fellow dignitaries, guest speakers of Karnataka and Kerala. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we need to give more time for the audience to raise their queries to hear the speaker well, and I don't want to take much of your time. I understand that the Section 128A came into effect during 1st November 2024, giving the amnesty scheme the facilities for 2018-19, 19-20, 17-18 before that. And only thing we need to make use of that, the facility with the government, the DGTS team give us, and all our members, Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industry members, around 400 member companies are there. So most of them are availing DGTS facilities mainly through these webinars which DGTS is conducting. Even Kerala Exporters Forum also is participating through other sources, and this is very informative sessions which we are hearing from you, and congratulate all the team members and the organizers and the guest speakers and attendees too. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we come to the main part of the program, and we are honored and privileged to have with us Sri B. Venkateswaran IRS, Assistant Commissioner of CGST retired, as our faculty. He has the depth of knowledge in all the subjects of GST. He has been kind enough to accept our request and readily agree to do the presentation. Now I request Sri B. Venkateswaran to start his presentation. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ebenezer sir.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
afternoon, everybody. Respected officers of DG's, taxpayers, system, Bangalore, and other members of the trade association for attending this webinar. And also I found there are a lot of attendees are already joined in the webinar. So I do not want to take much time on account of giving the introduction. So this particular topic has been already debated many times in many forums, but now still we are at the last leg of the implementation. So the scheme is going to be finalized on or before 31st of March this month. So definitely we are having just having a 30 days time to complete all the formalities. In the meantime, we are also heavily loaded with other work, like for answering the so-cost notice for the period 2021 and orders for the 2021. So I know I am very much aware that both the departmental officers as well as the consultants and the taxpayers are very much busy up to February 28th. So they will be having a breathing time to analyze, or we have to understand this particular MST scheme only after 28th. So I think this is the right time to refresh ourselves about the session, that is section 128A, which gives a waiver for the interest and penalty for the specified period for the specified notice or orders issued under section 73. So that's very important. So enough has been already discussed. So this is only, we can say, again, a refresher course on account of this. So let me share my PowerPoint so that I can also explain what is today's subject. I'm not only covering 128A. So this March, we are having 3 important scenarios. One is your 128A, another is section 16.4 and amended 16.5 and 16.6, that for on account of ITs availed for the November 2000. There is a cutoff date. Another is also GSTR 9C. So By March end, you are having enough work to complete on our to get yourself free from all the clutches of this law. So let us proceed for the better March for the next financial year. With this introduction, let me share my PowerPoint and start the session. Sir, is it visible, sir? Just check up. Yes, it is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Yes, Venkat.
Okay. Thank you very much. So today's seminar is on account of GST Amenity Scheme under Section 128A, an overview in association with the AIFTP Southern Zone, then FICCI Kerala State Council, CCC and I Kerala, and KSTP Karnataka and KSA Bangalore. Really, I'm very happy that so many associations are involved in outreaching this particular program. Thank you very much. The session starts now. The disclaimer, the presentation is prepared for the academic discussion purpose and it is not leading for any binding opinion. All views are personal. They are not binding on the organizer of the event. All participants are kindly requested to go through all related tax laws, provisions, rule, notification circulars. I have enclosed, I am also made presentation, which are the legal provisions required. The examples illustrations are only for the purpose of guidance. So I mentioned only CGST Act, but does not mean that it is only covered CGST, but it also covers state GST and DUT GST also. With this, we'll go for the topics. So coming March, we are having three important amnesty schemes. This presentation wishes to provide a brief synopsis on Amnesty Scheme 1, the waiver of interest and penalty for notice issued under Section 73 for the financial year 2017-18, 18-19 and 19-20 only. So it does not cover anything else. It covers only Section 73 and also the period specified is only 3 financial years, but is the first year, that is 27-18, July 2017 to March 2028, and full financial year, that was 18-19, 19-20. Then the scheme also there one more scheme also available for a waiver, which you have to act within another couple of weeks or months, we can say, availing the ITC for the notices or orders issued within Section 16.4 up to November 2021. You will be aware of the Section 64 restrict the availment of ITC on account of the invoices or credit debit note issued during the previous finance year, and it is eligible up to September to early 2020 September, and that was again extended up to November. Now on account of this particular scheme, we are going to have this facility up to November 2021. That is okay. Then waiver scheme 3. Another major issue is waiver of late fee for non-filing of GSTR 9C for the physically, that is the financial year 2017-18 to 22-23. 23-24 not yet covered. So those who are not filed for the period 23-24 has to bear with the late fee on account of 9 and also 9C. So this is the topic, today's topic. We are going to have the presentation on account of the three schemes. So here I wanted to give my schema for the today is I will be explaining some of the legal provision. I'm not going for in-depth for each and every legal provision. I'm going to give only the synopsis for that. Second, I will explain some of the steps involved, some of the forms involved, some of the flowcharts which is required to understand the process. There is a flow of the filing there your application to final the final order received, and also some of the time lamps received, and also I have included screenshots also, and wherever necessary I will give as a consultant who is also handling the front end for my consultant my clients. I also know some of the issues that I have given some tips for them. That is also I have taken as a screenshots. So what is the background for these things? One is called the 53rd meeting of the GST Council has recommended for the waiver of penalty and interest for the non-fraudulent cases under Section 73. So this is one full tax demand. If the full tax is paid, then you are entitled for waiver of the interest and penalty. The time limit also. Then next is also the same recommendation is given in the 53rd Council for Section 16.4. And the 53rd Council meeting recommended for the waiver of late fee for the GSTR 9C. So this forum is only with reference to the information. This is the background for the issuance of this particular amnesty scheme, which is going to be end during the financial year 23 to March 31st of this year. So legal provisions and notification circulars and the GST and advisories. So before you are going to apply for this for the waiver scheme on account all these three amnesty scheme which is right now is active, you should know what are the legal provisions, notifications, circulars, and the GST and advisories. This legal provision will understand which are the laws governed for the waiver and what are the not applicability, what are the procedural formalities are given in rule, and there are notification. And the Central Board of Excise also has issued circulars clarifying each and every aspect of this particular amnesty scheme. And also in the front end for the GSTN has given the advisories for the taxpayers. Absolutely, I do not have any idea about the what is the back-end process that GST has provided for the officers to handle, because since I'm having only the front end, I couldn't add the back-end process. The back-end process will be done by the GST for the officers separately. This is only for our taxpayer services only. So important legal provisions and notification. Legal provisions, section 128 of CGST Act 2017 and section 16.5 and section 16 of GST Act 2017 and rule 164 of GST rules 2017. And notifications are 20 of 2024, central tax dated 8/10/2024 to 22 of 2024 dated 8/10/2024. This is a major notification issued with reference to section 128A, section 15 and rule 164. This notification 18 of 2025 CT is issued with reference to waiver of late fee for the non-filing of the GSTR 9C for the period 2017-18 to 2022-23. Then the important circular issued so far by the Central Board of Excise and Customs on account of these schemes are circular number 237 31 2024 15/10 2024. Also a corrigendum has been issued on 25/10 2024 clarifying issues regarding provisions of section 5 and section 16 of GST, which is for the purpose of section 16.4. Then circular 238 dated 15/10/2000 clarifies various doubts related to section 128. Absolutely, this is a very exhaustive. And also there somebody told there is an inconsistency, but I find there was not much in everything has been legal backing. They were given only explained wherever it is required. And 246 it says about the applicable late fee for delay in furnishing form 9C. These are the three circulars very much required for the taxpayers to understand how best they can adopt to the or apply for this particular scheme in the days to come. And in order to handle this issue, the front end, you are aware, GSTN is handling, and GSTN has also given advisories how a taxpayer through their portal can handle these waiver schemes. Waiver scheme for section 128 was given 8th November and also followed by 29/12/2024, and waiver also given January 14th 2025. And one more this thing for enabling rectification under 16.4 orders issued case, there they also issued a notification for that. They have given an advisory on January 7th 2025. So my advice is please kindly go through the legal provisions and also the circulars and also the GST advisories, so that you may, without any hiccups, you can file or get the benefit out of these schemes before the end of 31st March this year. Amnesty of waiver of interest and penalty. Enough has been told, but here I'm giving only with reference to synopsis. I'm not going each and every sections to subsection, but however, I have mentioned some of these rules or sections wherever it is required. So you know very well, the section 128 is the prime section which is required for this particular waiver scheme. And rule 164 of CGST rules 2000 prescribe the procedural requirements and conditions for the commencement and closure of the proceedings. This consisting of nearly sub-rule 1 to sub-rule 17, very exhaustive. It has covered in almost each and every aspect required for the waiver scheme, and also it has also prescribed which are the forms has to be used by the taxpayer and how the payment has to be made by the taxpayer, whether it is on account of the notice or on account of the orders issued or on account of the appeal filed. So it is a very exhaustive rule, 164 also, that I am not going to individual rules, but I am giving only the synopsis for the easy understandings. As many people are already aware, you are aware of, the Section 146 Finance Act was brought a new section. This 128 in CGST with from 1/11/2024, which means officially this scheme is operational from 1/11/2024. Then payers, it reduces the litigation. The initial period, we will be having enough number of litigations on account of the not aware of the procedural requirements or legal provisions. So very many so-called notices have been issued under Section 73 of CGST or state tax, and there is a need for the waiver of interest and penalty. So the government has given this amnesty with reference to that is so-called notices issued under Section 73. We know very well there are two sections are right now available for the short payment or non-payment or erroneous refund. But here it covers, we are having a 73 and 74. But here this scheme, we are going to cover only Section 73. Definitely not covered Section 74 as on date. So no provision has been made available, though some people are expecting this is maybe possible. Unfortunately, has not happened. Right now, this is covers only the notices and orders issued under 73 of the CGST Act only. Then is also effective from 1/11 and covers the period July 2017 to March 2020, and there was a people said it's a part thereof. There was an expectation for the industry. It can be extended up to COVID period also, but unfortunately this is also not done. Right now, this is only for the period 1/7/2017 to March 2020 only. So key features we can say can file multiple applications for different period or disputes if they are fall under the eligibility criteria. So it is not possible. In the central government, we are issuing so-called notice for multiple periods and multiple issues. And the state government are issued based on the financial year. So there may be a possibilities because we are now, that is earlier, the central government has a different back-end process and the state has a different process. So that was the reason. So some multiple applications can be filed for the different period or dispute if they fall under different eligibility criteria. You can also find at times there are several notices are issued for the same period, but for the different disputes also possible. Then once taxpayer is opt for the section, the benefit any pending appeal is covered and will be deemed to be withdrawn. There has to be deemed to be withdrawn, so no further appeal is required. If you are accepting this 128A, no further litigation also. Once this order has been accepted, the department issues form SPL 05. Then no penalties and dispute will be, again it is litigation will be started once resolved under the section 128, once for it is closed. So your litigation will be once for complete, then you can feel free to move ahead with the new financial year. Then amnesty scheme covers following cases. If tax is not paid, short paid, or where ITC is wrongly availed or utilized for the reasons and no fraud is involved, which means this covers exclusively under the section 73 only, and it cannot be for the any other sections. The profit officer demanded such amount of tax with interest and penalty. So another condition, the notice should contain a tax liability along with interest and penalty. So this is also another precondition. So which are the notices covered? Let us see. The notice issued under section 73(1), which means normal notice for the short payment. Then statement issued under section 73. If the same issue is also continues, instead of so-called notice, they can be issued a statement. So here it is covers notice and statement, which are pre-order stages. So which means if the notice is issued, you can also opt for this. Unfortunately, for the period 2017, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, the notice period is already over. In many of the cases, orders would have been issued. So this is, even though since at the time it was been notified during November 2024, there are some of the issues are pending. So that was the reason it was also notice and statements. Second case is orders passed. So any order passed under section 73(9) by the adjudicating authority, whether appealed or not, even if it is not appealed, you can opt for the order. That means you can also, if the order is issued, you do not want to go for appeal, then you can, what you can do is you can also opt for the scheme by paying the tax, and you can get the waiver on account of the interest penalty. So that is possible, because for the period 2019-20, the appeal period is shortly recently over. So there maybe it is a possibilities for somebody pending with appellate forum. So there is many more possibilities. You already filed appeal before the appellate authority under section 1071, and also so it may be pending. If it is pending with the thing, or it is also order has been passed, then also you are also entitled for that. Even if it is pending before the passed orders by the appellate forum, and it is you are pending with tribunal, or you filed any writ application on account of the appellate non-constitution of tribunal, in that kind of case also you can opt for this scheme and you can get the waiver on account of interest and penalties. So essentially this particular scheme covers all these. It does not cover, and also one more scheme also here, section 74 demand has been issued, but however the appellate authorities find section 74 is not sustainable, then they have decided the case under 73. That case is also covered. So here also possible. So these are the situations covered under the particular this scheme. So here the schema we can, so notice and statement stage, that is 1. Order stage and appeal not filed stage, that is 2. Appeal file and pending, that is also possible. Then appeal dismissed and pending before the court or pending before want of tribunal, that is also possible. And fifth category, demand under section 73 modified as section 73 demand at appellate forum. Either it may be a first appellate authority, a tribunal, or high court, wherever it is possible. If it is noticed, though notification is issued under 74, the order is issued under 73, because the scheme is applicable for the orders issued under section 73. So when the order is modified, so essentially you are also entitled for the eligibility for this particular 128 waiver scheme. So these are the 5 areas or 5 applicable areas we can understand. This 128 amnesty scheme is applicable. Scheme not applicable. So once I say these are the scheme is applicable, there are doubt also whether the schemes is applicable in certain categories. But unfortunately in section 128A categorically says some of the notice or orders issued is definitely not permitted under the section 128 for waiver. Does not include the case involving notice interest penalty for late fee delay in filing returns. So there are possibilities if a demand is only for the late fee or general penalty, definitely is not possible. It should, as the section says 120A, a notice issued under section 73 for demand of tax and also demand of interest and demand of penalty. Penalty under section 129, e-way cases not applicable. Then unpaid interest 7512, which is called a recovery of the self tax. So please be ensured, don't be blindly follow that waiver of interest is possible, penalty is possible in each and every cases. There are cases possible where there is a no show cause notice issued or the demand for general penalty has been issued. In such scenarios, you are liable to, you cannot avail this particular scheme. See, this also does not include interest in penalty. So as many times people are told, the schemes are not applicable for the honest taxpayer. Unfortunately, this scheme also where interest and penalty has already paid, you are not entitled for the refund as per the provision existing today. Then it does not include a case where amount is payable by person on account of erroneous refund. This case is not applicable under this scenario. It does not include where appeal 73, 77 is filed and does not withdrawn. If you are not withdrawing the appeal filed under section 107 or 108, the scheme is not applicable. So these are the main as per the legal provisions of section 128A. Let us now move to rule 164 of CGST rules. It consists, as I told, it's consisting of rule number 1 to 164 Sub rule 17. So nearly 17 rules are there, which elaborately explains what is the forms required, what is the timeline is required, how the reply has to be filed, how the appeal has to be filed, how the rejection order has to be filed. So each and everything very exhaustively told in these particular rules 164.1 to 164.17. So here I am giving only the essence of each of the rules, not go for the each and every sub rule. Please kindly go through the sub rule. Whoever has any doubt on the legal provisions. So 164 outlines the procedure, conditions for waiver of interest penalty or both concerning demands issued under section 73 and also for the period. The detailed breakdown of 164 is application for the waiver, then payment of the deadlines, the withdrawal of the appeals, processing of applications, and the time frames for orders. So these subsections, 17 subsections, categorically explain the applications for waiver, payment deadlines, withdrawal of the appeals, and processing of the applications by the departmental officers, and time frames for the submission of application and order issuance of the order. So this is the beauty. So the complete requirement for successful implementation of this scheme has been clearly provided in rule number 164 under various sub rules. If a person chargeable with the tax fulfill the conditions and eligible for the benefit, he has to pay full amount of the tax on or before 31/3/2025. So the time is running short, payable as per the notice or statement as the case may be. So you have to file application. Before filing application, ensure that you have paid the taxes on or before 13/3/2025. He has also pay any additional amount if arise on account of any order passed by an authority under the law against an appeal filed by the officer. Suppose an order has been issued to you, but you are not went on appeal, but the department has went on appeal. Whether I am entitled for the scheme? Yes, you are entitled for the scheme, provided based on the outcome of the appeal, you have to pay the additional amount, but however you are given the benefit on account of the interest and the penal provisions. So please ensure that also if there is an appeal is filed with the department, you request for the speedy trial, or you can also first pay the amount, apply for the waiver scheme, and also get the balance benefit after the that is the decision is taken at the appellate forum. Then he has to withdraw the appeal, writ petition filed before the authority as the case may be on or before 31. So you have to make payment also, you have to make withdrawal also on or before 31/3/2005. No appeal should be filed under this amnesty scheme. The notice statement for more than one reasons a person to pay full amount of the notice. If tax are demanded for more than one taxpayer, he has to pay full tax assessment notice. No partial payment are allowed. So no partial payments you have to get for these 190, 64, 4, 3 and 4 are very important. When multiple periods are covered or multiple issues are covered in a show cause notice, what you have to take action. So here you have to understand if it is a multiple period or multiple issues are involved, which one is covered under the amnesty scheme, one is not covered, they have to pay the full taxes as per the said notice, definitely. Then aware the scheme should follow, has to file an application within the tax period 3 months from 31/3. That means on or before you have to file the papers, file your payment has to be made 31/3/2025. Application can be filed up to 36/2025, which means you are having a sufficient time to take a decision what to do. But before taking a decision, you should be definitely complete your payment on or before 13/2025. If you are not filed, if without payment you are filing, it is not possible. So please understand that all amount has to be tax has to be paid, even if you are going to file application after 36/2025. If you paid the amount and you have not filed appeal, then you are again liable for the tax and interest and penalty. Please understand this. He has to file application in portal. There are two applications are available, SPL 0102 and got an order, and also along with the taxpayer details has to be filed online. Then person to reduce his liability, this is very much useful. inserted 16 and 16.6 also. A person need to reduce his liability. Suppose a notice is issued for the purpose of section 16.4 and others also for other items. You can also reduce this liability and make the payment only for the other issues. So this is the crux of that issue. So steps to avail the benefit under section 128. Again, we want to repeat that only. Must submit an application on its corresponding notified form through portal. This form must include GST number and everything, amount, payment, liability, required to pay the principal tax amount involved in the dispute. Relief is available on penalties and interest provided payment is made within the prescribed period. 164. This is the forms prescribed for the how best I can use the scheme. Procedure is laid down, that the forms also prescribed, lay down the step-by-step procedure, including forms, timelines, and departmental roles in processing application. And all these things are available as per notification number 20 of 2024. So form SPL. Now I wanted to explain some of the forms which is notified under section under rule 164. Form SPL 01. Who has to file SPL 01? This form is used by the taxpayer to apply for waiver related to notice issued under section 73 or statement issued under section 73(2). So this is form SPL wherever there is a notice stage and statement stage but does not involve any order stage or appellate stage, has to use SPL 01. I don't think it is very much useful right now for many people, but however this form is already notified, and taxpayer details, GST and period of dispute, reference to notice, demand raised and voluntary payment made from GST 03. Declaration confirming compliance has to be filed. Then form SPL 02. Purpose: used for the orders issued or statement in multiple periods, erroneous refund or adjusted demands, and for also which is for the orders issued cases and pending before the appellate tribunal or wherever it may be. So this is the SPL for 2 is used for many people. All details required for SPL 01 with an additional section for orders passed under section 74, but reclassified under section 73. As I said earlier, suppose a notification that is order has been issued under 74, but appellate authority has reclassified it as under section 73. There also they can use SPL 02. Then information on multiple periods are possible and erroneous refunds cannot be covered, and any withdrawal certificate from the appellant is pending has to be withdrawn and it has to be submitted online. So SPL 03 notice for clarification. The purpose issued by the proper officer to request additional information or documents if the application for the waiver is incomplete or insufficient. This ensures the waiver application not rejected due to missing information, giving the taxpayer a fair chance to provide all required details. Specific discrepancies deficiency note on the original or timeline of the has to be responded usually 15 days. But SPL 03 is issued for clarification, but before that you should have been paid the amount that you have to ensure. If it is not paid, then even this notice, it cannot be considered this, it is a outright rejection only. SPL 0 for acceptance and order used to be this officer to accept the waiver application comes from the closer. Then summary of accepted, this will be pending and all these things, information of the withdrawal of the pending will be intimated in that. Rejection order issued when the waiver application is found ineligible due to the fraud or incomplete compliance. 1 second, I will check up. Then reason for rejection of the application will be also done here. I had some doubt. Okay, I'll go. Then DRC 03. This form is also prescribed wherever there is a notice has been issued or statement has been issued. If you paid this amount under GR 03 under voluntary, this application form, that means payment for wherever there's a notice has been issued, please make the payment using your DRG 03. Where you have to show the payment should be under voluntary. Don't give any information as a notice issued or others, because the linking between GRG 3 and GST 3 is very much crucial for the uploading the payment details. So it is very much the tip I want to give you. Those who are using payment under GRG 03 always use in most of the cases DRG 03 voluntary, so that it can be linked with any order subsequently using your DRG 03A linking facilities. That is very important. procedure at the department end, acknowledgement and verification. Once application submitted, and acknowledgement is provided, followed by a review of the claim by the GST officers. If additional document is required, then notified through GSTN portal. The applicant is required to respond within this time limit. Then if the application found valid, the official will issue an acceptance. Then paid waiver granted and the penalties, and a statement confirming the dispute resolution and the closure. If they finds the case involved fraud, suppression, misrepresentation, then the application will be rejected and order rejection will be communicated through GSTN portal. As I told, all these informations are going to be furnished electronically, and also furnished, the reply also received electronically. And there are some cases, even though SPL 01 is online, SPL 02 is online, some of the cases which still they are not uploaded the data for the previous period in the portal, there you have to handle the issue manually also wherever required. If the proper officer not satisfied the application, file in GSTR1 within a issue a so question within a period of 3 months from the date of receipt application form GST SPL 03, and giving a reason for the giving a personally hearing notice also. Not satisfied with the reply, then form GST within a month date of receipt will be noticed. The provincial will issue an order in the GST SPL 07 rejecting this application. Fail to issue an order within this time frame 3 months, it is deemed to be approved. So here there is a provision also made for the deemed approval if proper action is not taken within the time frame by the officer. That is also very important. Withdrawal closure. Upon acceptance of these applications and everything, and appeal pending in the adjudication will be deemed to withdrawn. No further proceedings for penalties or interest can be initiated for the same dispute once relief is granted. So now the waiver scheme comes to end. So once you receive the order accepting your applications, then indicating your waiver of penalties and interest for the same, no more further action will be initiated for the notices or orders or issued earlier. There ends your closure. So procedures and miscellaneous self-declaration certificates that no willful suppression has to be done. Copies of adjudication orders, notice or appliance producing has to be uploaded. Bank receipt or challan evidencing payment has to be uploaded. Timeline, as I told earlier, 31/3/2020 for making payment, 36/2025 for the making application. These are the broad timelines given by the as per the legal provisions of section 164. SPL 01 waiver within 3 months from the effective date. Application for orders for involving erroneous refund or multiple period 3 to 6 months depending upon the order. Voluntary payment towards the liabilities. Notice for additional information. Acceptance of order for approved application. Rejection order for the ineligible application. So these are the timelines for the submission of the application to the final action taken by the department on the application submitted for the waiver. So file SPL 01 F2 accepted, order in 05, I think there are something, then not accepted, notice in SPL 03, notice not issued, order is accepted, then reply in SPL 04, then reply accepted, order in SPL 05, reply not accepted, order in SPL 07, then appeal in SPL 06 against the order issued under SPL 01. This is the normal flow chart for the SPL 01 to SPL 06. So this legal provisions, everything is covered under the, as I said, rule 16.4, rule 164 from subsection 1 to subrule 17. When elaborate rule has been given, this is I cannot also, that due to want of times constraint, I cannot explain each and every legal provision. So I have given only the synopsis and the broad views only. Now screenshots. So having understood about the legal provisions, now I want to know which are the screenshots will be made available for me to file online through GSTN portal. I have given a very few screenshots because GSTN has already given an elaborate manual on that. You can also visit GSTN website to use this manual wherever required. But still, as a person who is handling this for the past 2 to 3 months for several applications I filed, there are still some technical issues are here and there. I hope before the month also shortly all these technical issues will be resolved by the GSTN portal. So you have to visit your GST in portal and visit the user services and my application. Under my application, you can find a drop down. Very many applications are available. Application for filing refund, application for filing LUT, application for voluntary payment, and so many others. And there, one of the particular drop down is application for the waiver scheme. You have to select under 128A. Once you said if the new application is required, then you will be taken for the next screen where there are two applications are available, SPL01 and SPL02. SPL0 for the notice stage and SPL02 for any other than the SPL01, whether it is order issued case or appeal pending case or appeal decided case or pending before the High Court. All these cases has to be completed, has to select SPL02. In my opinion, most of the persons are going to use only SPL02. Once you go there, then you will be having a next screen. Here you have to indicate the mandatory field, whether notice or issued through portal. Then I told earlier also, in some of the earlier notices not issued, especially by the central GST, there most of the so-called notice are issued by offline mode as per the provisional section 169. So there you may find it very difficult. There you have to say yes or no, because you need to upload the physical copy of the document. That is, the soft copies need to be uploaded. So you have to provide the link so that you have to select yes or no. Any order has been issued against the notice, then you have to say yes or no. No means then you are going back to SPL1, you are not entitled for this. Whether the amount completely paid through DRC03 or the case may be when it is it may be DRC03 or it may be also by debiting the amount in the liability ledger also. If you go through section rule 164, it also specifically states if it is in the stage of so-cost notices, you are likely to pay the amount through DRC03, and if it is in the case of order stage or some other stage, then you are set off the tax liability using your liability register amount. That I will also screenshots will be provided shortly. Where notice issued in 73 section, we have to say yes or no. If it is a notice issued in 74Y, then you have to say whether 74 is converted into 73. That is required. Whether it is a section 75, which means self-assessed may not become, so you have to give a yes or no. Is erroneous refund? If it is yes also, there may be some other reason. It is only partially allowed, not for the fully available. So this is the second screen available, and the third screen. So here SPL1, the basic screen, mobile number, email ID, and whatever your jurisdiction will be given, then your address will be also auto-populated. Here a technical issue we found is it gives multiple mobile number and multiple email IDs. So please kindly select which is most correct, that is linked to your authorized signatory. Primary authorized signatory, better please select for the primary authorized signatory instead of selecting for the other authorized signatories. Better, that is only thing. Then SPL01, you have to include what is the details of the statement or notice. If it is online, it is okay. Otherwise, if it is a manual, you have to mention manual. So this is the second screen for the XPL01. The third screen, you have to select whatever it is, whether any appellate mechanism has been applied, whether it is possible. Why there is a, sir, here it is appeal file means notice stage also I can go for the appeal before the writ petition. In that scenario, you have to withdraw that also before wish to avail the facility on account of notice issued. So you have to mention that. Then amount is, all these things will be auto-populated. Then amount, once you select, here the reference will be automatically populated. Don't worry about that. You can do only check. We have to select the DRC03, which is relevant for this particular notice. Otherwise, you have to link it with the DRC03A or your auto-populated from your liability ledger. So this is the third screen. Then you have to upload. Please upload all attested copies, everything need to be uploaded. Self-certified notice or statements, all other documents are definitely needs to be accepted. Here somebody told there it is only 1 or 2, 3 documents can be availed. Self-certified copies or notices. Then choose the file. Then file name convention has been used by the GST and has been strictly followed. It does not permit any special character other than underscore. So here you please also mind that the filing name convention also as per the advisory issued by the GST portal. Their proof of payment, you have to attach either DRC03, electronic cash or credit ledger, as the case may be, or your liability ledgers also possible. That also you can upload along with the payment details you have shown. Then you have to give undertakings. The declarations are required for the SPL 01 undertaken that I have not filed it. I have not, no appeals will be filed. I declare that information produced correct. So these are the normal declaration required. Once you select authorized signatory as per the auto populated, then you have to enter and save. But unfortunately here the draft cannot be saved. You have to again prepare the complete document. Earlier there is a possibility, there is no possibility. Please kindly preview before filing this application and ensure everything is correct. The system will also give you validation checks, then it will allow you to file your application. You can file as usual using EVC or your DSC. This is as far as SPL 01 is concerned. SPL 02, the same basics are required, the same thing. The form in the part 1 is the basic details are same. And second, the only thing modification is the declarations, where there are having only 2 declarations. But in the case of SPL 02, we are having other requirements, which is undertake not to file and understand that agreed to withdraw the applications. All these things are there. So the declaration is slightly modified as per the requirement of section 128A and as well as the procedures required under rule 164. These declarations are also embedded in the application itself. Then once you file, automatic acknowledgement will come. So you can find here, I have filed some of the 2 applications. So here you can, ARN number will be filed. Therefore, I have filed this for the 2 different periods. So I have filed application on 1/1/2025 to this period. So I filed, there are 2 applications. The ARN application will be immediately available on the portal. No need to wait for the officer going to issue. Here it is a front end. So as told here, acknowledgement number is immediately ARN number is also available. You can also download your SPL 02 application. So this is the application format. Here all the basic details and demand details will be auto-populated or printed. This is the final. This you can also keep it as your references for future. And if required any delay happens on account of, you can refer this matter and hand it over to the respective officers for the further processing or speedy requirements as and when required. So this is the, you can download the application. It comes under the PDF format. You can take that. And here the demand details are auto-populated. So once you select that, the demand details are auto-populated. Then out of the amount, how much demand you are paying. So since I have paid all the amount, the balance amount is 0, it's showing. So here, then finally the payment details. Here it is a demand details. In the earlier screen, it will be selecting the particular DRC07. Once you select the particular GSTR, DRC07 and full, then you fill the details with reference to section 16.4. So this particular part is other than section 16.4, and next part is with reference to section 16.4 and 16.5. That also auto-populated based on the data you have entered. If you enter only this data becomes 0. The next screen will indicate, you will be linking that if you paid the amount using your DRC03, you are selecting. If you are paying the amount through your liability ledger as stated in the rule 164, this will be auto-populated and you can find the application, and the application will clearly say what are the amount already paid. So all the amounts have been paid. I paid it twice. The two times the amount has been come also. So there are 2, I paid twice. So the amount has been coming. What are the amount I paid on account of this particular liabilities? So again and again, why I wanted to make you to understand is, please, DRC03, we find as a persons working at the grassroots level as a consultant, we find there are some hiccups are coming when you are linking that. So the rule also very specific that wherever their order has been issued, please make the payment using the outstanding demand. The liability ledger, outstanding liability, there are 2 registers are available. One is to indicate what is the outstanding amount. Then there is one more register for the payment towards outstanding demand. There are 2 ledgers are available for you to verify. One ledger will show what is your unstayed or stayed applications, that is your demands which are stayed or not stayed. And based on that, there will be a auto population of the outstanding demands. Even if you pay a part payment on account of the 10% on account of this demand, that amount will be also part populated, and this will show as a amount yet to be paid on account of the import IGST, CGST. But here it is a total amount is shown, but you can, once you click here, it will be give you the category wise, whether it is a tax, or it is interest, or it is a penalty, or it is a late fee. This categorization also available once you click the hyperlink. So here I am repeatedly saying, many state government, what I find from Tamil Nadu and elsewhere, the most of the cases, we can say they have already aligned with the GSTN portal. So GSTN portal is having all this information, but for the central government, there are still, it is a nascent stage, because very recently only central government has moved to GSTN backend process. So this information may not be available, means you have to use DRG03 and you have to link it with you have to submit along with the application. In all other people, those who are received DRG07, please make the payment using the outstanding demand. Then only you will get auto population, which will make your job very easy. Otherwise, very cumbersome. We have to link and you have to explain to the officer why this amount is paid, how you are going to adjust. So in order to avoid this complexity involving explaining each and every steps, better use these facilities. Then withdrawal application. So once if you think, I already filed, means on or before 31/3/2025, before filing the application, you have to file a withdrawal application, either online or offline. For the cases already available in DRG07, where you file online application, there is a provision is available. You can find this in online application. You can go, you can verify the application submitted for the appeal. Then there is application, notices, replies, and rectification, additional document submission, then withdrawal application. So you can auto populate the order number. It will be, this is also here auto populate, and you can select any number of appeals available. So whichever appeal you want to say, each and every time you can select only single appeal only. If it's a multiple appeals, then you have to select multiple appeals. Then you have to say we wish to avail the waiver of interest and penalty under section 120A. Then you can submit. Then your acknowledgement is available. Then you can show that upload the acknowledgement as a proof of your withdrawal of the appeal pending before the appellate forum. For in the case of appellate tribunal or High Court, that entirely is a manual process only. So I told earlier, in case where order GSTR 07, GST 08 or Form APL is available, please make use of electronic liability ledger and set off. This is very much required, and even the rule sub-rule 2 of rule 164 categorically specify this procedure has to be followed wherever online information is available. So adjusting DRG, for those who are issuing notice and everything, this facility is available only, please note, this facility is available only when the amount is paid under voluntarily. So we tried whether we paid without mentioning voluntary, without section 73.5 or others or something. We are unable to get linked between GSTR 03 and GSTR 3A is not possible. Here it is only possible if it is under voluntary. So here also, hereinafter also, please understand, whenever you are making a payment, please make it as a voluntary and give 73.5. Then afterwards, this amount can be linked to your DRG03A, whether it is on account of you are paying the amount on account of audit paras or notices or any letters. Better please issue under the DRG03 voluntary, and you can subsequently link it with the DRG03A to set off the liabilities against any of the orders. Link DRG03 demand, you can see these are the forms are available, then clearly mentioned that DRG file under voluntary payments and other categories only will eligible for the offset. So once you select the DRG03, the information will be auto-populated. Then you can use this demand side, for you can use the entire amount for the demand, or you can also make partial amount also possible. So here DRG03 to set off, not necessarily for the full amount you have paid, it may be also partial amount. The balance amount will be kept as a pending in your ledger, demand ledger will be possibilities there. So similarly, some of the persons who have been paid multiple DRC03, you can also use multiple DRC03, but each and every DRC03 you have to file a separate DRC03A. That is very much required. Please note, multiple DRC can be linked for single demand by filing multiple such applications. So with this, we'll come to the end about the section 128 waiver. I have explained the scheme very briefly. I have not gone through each and every section. Let us see some of the question and answer also. Now let us proceed for the section 16.5 and 16.6 with reference to section 64 cases. So here clarification has been given, benefit on account of notice not there. Here also they are given which are the categories covered. Notice not issued stages where no demand statement has been issued, then it is possible. What is the action will be taken by the officer? No further action occurred, no demand notice to be issued. So the department come to the conclusion, say DRC 1A is possible, or spot memo would have been issued. No notice. Now what is the action? No further action is issued, no demand notice issued under section DRC 01. 1A is deemed to be withdrawn. Then notice issued but not order issued. So where there is a demand, it's issued, but order has been not issued either under section 73 or section 74. Earlier we are 128A, we are speaking only about section 73 demand only, but here 73 and 74 also covered. So where demand or statement notice has been issued, taxpayer need to write the adjudicating authority about the new provisions and request to drop the demand, order be dropped. So once it is a notice issued, is pending before adjudication. In both the cases, 73, most of the cases already covered. 74, some more times are there. So you can indicate that there is the department has issued, government has issued a retrospective amendment wide section 116, 5 and 16.6. So I'm entitled for the entitled for the ITC. So that you can, what you can do is you are eligible for the waiver. The notice can be withdrawn in totality. All notice will be withdrawn not only for the your payment of tax, demand and penalty issued under 73 with reference to section 16.4 is deemed to be, or it is to be dropped by the adjudicating officer. Then suppose order has been issued pending with appeal. So there they have given us special procedures also. So if it is within the appellate period, pending before appeal, before filing, that is order, not pending, that is you can also rectification can be filed. So for that they have given a rectification. That means there are two stages possible: order issued but not appeal filed. Order issued, appeal filed, then you can also intimate to the appellate forum, then we are entitled for. Then appellate forum also issued an order, then order issued by the appellate for, that is a adjudicating authority as well as the appellate forum. You can ask for the cognizance this thing, and you can also pending before that ask them to drop that issue. The another issue, order issued but appeal not filed. In that scenario, they have to file a rectification application as per the provisions of section, that is as per the notification number 20 of 2024. So order has been issued but no appeal is filed. Fine, they have given a 6 months period, extended time they have given. So the within 6 months from the date of this notification, which means 8/10/2024 means 7/4/2025, you can file a rectification application for the orders issued for the section 16.4, and you need not go for the file appeal. You can use the new procedure for the rectification under this particular. The same thing happens appellate forum also. You find there also you can file an application for the rectification. Both are possible. The due date is 7/4/2025. So please kindly go through your notice, that is orders issued so far on account of section 16.4. You finally file immediately, either intimate to the officer for the withdrawal of the notice or dropping of the proceedings before the adjudicating officer or the appellate authority, or you can file the rectification as per the provisions before the adjudicating officer as well as the appellate authorities. That is possible. Okay. So here the rectification, what you have to understand is, as per the provision of section 161, rectification can be filed within 3 months from the date of communication of order. But in this scenario, this is a special provision. Here they told clearly within 6 months from the date of this notification number, which means it overrides the provisions of section 161. So here you can file the due date up to 6 months from the date, which means you are running short of the time. Also, if you are not taken any action earlier, please take action at least well in time. You are having a very short notice to get rid of this particular demand. And you have to file a performa in Annex A. That performa also affixed as per the appended notification number 22 of 2024. Important to notice, no refund of tax already paid or input tax credit already reversed would be available. Many people are asking, already paid, sir, what can you do? Sorry, no refund is possible for the already credit is reversed. This is the provision as per this particular section. We cannot go beyond that. So this is the important note to be understand. So rectification application, as usual, I told you have to go to the dashboard, services, user services, my application. There you are having umpteen numbers of applications are available. Select application for the rectification and you find the new application. Then you will be taken to the new screen. Kindly note, it is mandated to upload Annex A for filing application for rectification of the order under notification number. So you attach the rectification application along with the reason you are going to say section 16.4 amended as per the provisions of section 16.5 and 16.6 and annex are attached for your consideration. So the rectification order will be issued. This is the rectification section application form for the rectification of the order. Okay, second waiver is also over. Some of the contagious issues is troubling you for the past few years will be over, and one more issue is your GSTR 9C. So here also the period covered is 2018-19, is 17-18 to 22-23. 3 years are only covered. That is a first 5 years are covered, not for the current fiscal, which is already 31st December 2024 was the due date for the period 23-24. So the benefit is only available up to last financial year, not for the immediate financial year 23-24. So the board has clarified there is a notification when issued under notification number 8 of 2025 dated 23/1/2025. Waiver of late fee, delayed filing of annual return. So this is the case they told. Beyond the late fee that they told, if already paid late fee, then to that extent the late fee is waived. That's all. If there is a no late fee for the 9C. If there is a late fee is paid, the late fee to that extent is waived. That is a application or the understanding of this legal provision. There are possibilities I filed within the time period, but I have not filed I have filed GSTR 9C after that date. Whether I am liable to pay any penalty, that any whether waiver is there? Yes, there is no these things because already no late fee for GSTR 9. Therefore, no late fee for the GSTR 9C. Already paid late fee for GSTR 9 to the extent of 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, and to that extent I am eligible for the waiver of the penalty, which is subsequently filed, which means that is that also charged beyond the late fee submitted. So the due date is only up to 31/3/2025. Here you are immediately act fast because you have to. There are multiple softwares are given by the department and multiple areas. Turnover for the earlier period is 2.5 crores and 9C has to be filed based on the auditor certificate. Duly auditor certificate is required. Reconciliation statement for the period it is turnover is 5 crores and the 9C has to be filed based on the self-certification because there is a change in the turnover as well as the software which is required back and also need to be considered. That's why please act quickly so that you can file your 9C without any much delay within the period of 31/3/2025. Why late fee waiver is important? There are so many case laws also spoke, but as per the legal provision section 47, see, fail to furnish required section under section 44 by the due date shall be liable a late fee. So if the system does not auto-populate late fee, does not mean there is no late fee. There is still a late fee. That's the word shall. Then maximum of amount calculated at a 1/4% of his turnover in a state or in a territory. If it is prolonged for so many years, then It is not 100 rupees or 200 rupees per day, but it is based on the your turnover. Assuming your turnover is 50 crores and above 50 crores, then you can find a maximum amount is calculated the quarter percentage of the turnover of the state. So there you will be unnecessarily pending, you will be like to may, there is a possibility you may pay more late fees required. And if the late fee is not payable, if not filed, then there is a late fees requirement equal to the GSTR. There is a late fee required. Then also a maximum of rupees 25,000 each head under 125 penalty also possible. So I find many people are still not filing. There are also notice has been issued for the imposing penalty, and there are divergent views also. But in order to avoid these complications of paying late fee and your maximum penalty, please file this on or before 31/3/2025. Some FAQs very much interested, relevant for the today's session. There I told that the circular has been already given. I have taken few circular, few which is more relevant for us. Some FAQs. Whether amount recorded by the officer, any other person on behalf of, which means you can say it is a DRG 13 issued. Whether that amount also can be considered for this? Yes. But the amount recovered as interest and penalty cannot be refunded. So the reason demand is there. The DRG 013 has been issued against the bank or the third party towards the liabilities. If that amount has been recovered, whether I can come for this and I need not pay that amount? Yes, there also you can, particularly under this tax payment can be adjusted towards your liability and you are entitled for interest and penalty waiver. Please do that. Wherever section 13 notification DRG 013 has been issued and the amount is already recovered, you can also please immediately file for the waiver scheme. Otherwise, if you are not filing, that is also liable to be paid once the scheme is over. So file your application on or before 36/2025, understanding these informations. So there one benefit is for those who are already recovered by the other modes also eligible. Whether benefit provided section 120 will applicable in case where the dues already been paid, a notice is only pertains to the interest and penalty. Yes, there are also possibilities since already you paid the liability, interest and penalty. If it is issued under section 73, notice is issued, then it is possible, which means there is apportionment of notice, that is a amount would have possible in the order also. There also you can also eligible for interest and penalty, that you can also see whether your order is only for the penalty and interest as per the provisions of section 73. Where notice involves multiple periods ranging from, yes, you can also tax period covered and tax period not covered. You have to distinguish both that. Then you can file your form SPL 01 or SPL 02 as the case may be. So multiple tax period is possible. And similarly, eligibility for the multiple issues, yes, we told earlier, if the issue consisting of one is for the wrong payment, erroneous refund, and one is for 16(4), another is for other issues, all these things you can segregate, and you can also multiple issues can be segregated. In fact, we are already know there is a possibility for the 16(4) can be reduced in the waiver application. In other cases, you have to pay the entire amount, you can get waiver for the interest and penalty. What if happened you filed appeal? If the department has filed appeal, you can file your 128A waiver application subject to the condition if at the appellate forum, if it is increased, you are likely to pay the increased amount so as to qualify for the benefit of the interest and penalty waiver. If the appellate forum also failed, your original order stands good, there also you will be going to be benefited. For IGST and cess, yes, this scheme is also applicable for the notices issued exclusively for the IGST or the compensation cess, because there are some issues came different rate of compensation tax also the notification issued, that is also possible. So since the provisions of CGST and SGST are made applicable for IGST and compensation cess, this scheme is also applicable. If only IGST or cess, it is not necessarily tax means, does not mean CGST and SGST. Even if it is IGST alone and cess alone has been demanded, and there is a demand and a penalty and interest, you are eligible for the scheme under this on payment of the full tax in under IGST as well as the cess cases. Irregularly availed transitional credit. There is another transitional credit also. So in the case of transitional credit, notice is issued under section 73. Since it is issued under section 73, if any notice issued for irregularly availed transitional credit, you can also opt for the scheme. That is the FAQ given by the Central Board of Excise and Customs in the circular stated earlier. So this is also possible. Whether cover waiver penalties under the provision of late fee redemption fine? Absolutely no. It says only interest and penalties under section 73 alone. It does not cover section 122, 25, all these things, but does not give any other thing. So not covered. However, late fee, fine are not covered under waiver provided section 128A. Mode of payment. How to make the payments? You can make either payment by availing ITC credit, you are availing electronic credit ledger, or also you can use your cash ledger if you are not having the sufficient fund. However, if the demand is on account of the RCM liabilities, you are expected to pay the amount only in the electronic cash ledger only and not through electronic credit ledger. The electronic credit ledger is possible where there is a outstanding demands other than RCM category. This is the mode of payment to qualify for the demand. Whether the entire amount deemed to be in the notice can avail? Yes. If the issue is covered, both the notification 16.4 say for 1 lakh and other issues is only for 10 lakhs, then you can pay only 10 lakhs. You can totally forget about the 16.4. 16.4 is completely outside the purview of 128A. So you need not pay any amount on account of the taxes or penalty. It is covered under the rectification or other provision. So section 64 also possibilities. The link I have already told, taxpayer can demand amount through the payment towards the demand facility. For this, please refer advisory of waiver scheme under 128A dated 8th. This is the important. Before parting, March to litigation free new 2025-26. So 31st March is the last date for your waiver scheme and also for your 16.4 it is just a spillover of 7 days and for your another waiver scheme for your GSTR 9C. So the March ends the litigation period ending and you will have a new era from 2025-26. So before parting, please kindly understand these provisions are beneficial for the taxpayer by and large, and you also feel free and litigation free, and you can commence a new journey hereinafter. So thank you very much for your patient hearing. I hope I have covered most of the issues under 128A. And since the scheme is already notified during 53 council, there are more than 68 months. So people would have been studied each and every legal provisions. And I have given only the refresh course only, nothing more than that. With this, let me conclude the session. Thank you very much for the DGTPS Bangalore zone and officers and other association members and participants who have participated very enthusiastically. Thank you very much. If any questions, let me take a question. Before that, please give me 2 minutes time to take my water. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your detailed presentation. I'm sure that majority of the doubts in the minds of our audience were clear with the presentation. Now we will move on to the question and answer session. Our faculty, Sri B. Venkateswaran sir, will take the question one by one from the chat box and he will answer the questions.
I think a lot of questions have already been taken by Venkateswaran ji just through, but still we can check if there are a few questions that have been left out.
Ma'am, we'll take the question from 331 AC Hassan.
No, Ebenezer ji, that's what I'm saying. After the end of the presentation, a lot of questions have been taken up. So if there are still any pending, then
Okay,
those
ma'am.
can be.
Okay, ma'am. Then let the faculty take the question from the
Yes,
chat box. Yeah.
because he has already taken a lot of questions just after his presentation. So, Mr. Venkateshwaran ji, if there are any that you feel that have been left out, we can just go through from the top ones and we can address if any have been left out.
Thank you for your patience. I'm back. Questions I have to see, sir? Any important question? Most of the coverages which require the procedural requirements has been already, the department has given enough FAQ. I would pick it up only very few. And very many questions I have found, what is the procedural requirement for the department has to take? You will be aware of the scheme ends on 31/3/2025 with reference to making the payments. Your application is possible for another 3 months. So thereafter, the department office will take action from the 1/7/2025, which means you are having a sufficient time. So people are asking the questions. I find even before the session, actually, some of the people has asked, what is my role? Who is the proper officer and everything? All these will be shortly decided back end process. So here, I cannot give any information or procedural requirements on the front end back end for the officers. So please avoid such questions. Thank you very much, sir. I will go through that. What are the questions available in the chat box? So any questions you could see, sir? I couldn't see anything.
Sir, you from the chat box you see, sir.
One second, I'm going to chat box. I'm opening it.
Venkateshwaran ji, usually what I do in taking Q&A is just go through time by time and just mention whether you've taken that up or not. That will help.
Yes, I'm going to that only, madam. I'm going chat
So
box.
we can start with
327 before that it went correct.
Correct.
Video is, see here the officer asked AC Hassan. So who is the proper officer SPL 02 adjudicated by the state authorities but tax? So I told here all back-end process are still to be evolved and it has to be decided by the inter-department. So we have to wait up to 31/7/2025. By the time all these things will be settled. Now the action is required by the taxpayer only. The departmental officer's action can be taken once this timeline is completed.
And if I may add to AC Hassan, SPL 02 adjudication will not happen. No, SPL 02 is a form that has been filed. Then you take the relevant actions of 3, 4, 5, what have been discussed in the presentation for today. So this you currently need not be bothered about.
That is why my wish is also.
Yes,
so you
yes,
can
please go ahead.
wait for some more time.
Yes.
Then adjudicated by state authority, but that's okay. Then Mukesh Prasad. This was 315. Documents required for SPL 02. Yeah, then yes, there clearly mentioned self-attested copies because in some of the case I told earlier, it is available manually or electronically. In the case of electronically, absolutely there is no requirement. Supposing if the officer is able to want to download the information on the first hand, that's why they told self-attested copies of the GST or DRG07. Please include DRG07 and also the elaborate, that is the detailed order. Just like that, don't download DRG07 and upload. Please kindly note, there are two documents. DRG07 is nothing but your summary and order is separately discussed separately. So both merge and you upload self-attested copy. That is very much required. That will be help the officer to understand. So here the orders are mostly issued by there is no cross empowerment with reference to orders issued as far as section 73 is concerned. The cross empowerment is only with reference to the investigation only. Here most of the cases are issued only by the respective officer. So there may not be any occasion center versus state is possible. There also you can look out. But I find state government officer would have been collected some taxes. In that scenario, you have, I told DR is 013. Action is taken both by center, by state government authorities. There you have to understand, inform the state and central government authorities. This amount has been already collected by the other agencies. So document required, first on self first copy, what just
No,
you
sir,
just
answered,
self
sir.
just self
You answered it. Yes,
sir.
What you answered the question, sir. Now on
Okay,
Manu,
okay.
yes,
I'll go.
P22.
Filing application should be declared the interest as per the order should be we have calculated. Not necessarily, sir. This auto populated will give all these informations, and if you make the payment, then that will be calculated. In many cases, if it is interest is not calculated, you don't bother about that. Interest calculation depending upon the date of payment for the earlier period. In many of the cases, they will be mentioning in the order interest applicable rate as per section 50. Section 50 only mentioned. In some of the state governments, they will be mentioning interest up to this date, and the balance date will be recalculated at the time of actual payment only. So no need to worry about the payment of interest in the calculation. It will be auto populated in most of the cases. Then 333, Mr. Prakash. From date of recommendation recovered interest without waiting for the FID date of notification. In such case, so here the notification has been already October 2024. If you paid after October 2024, we cannot help it. They told that you wait for the scheme. So the 53 council itself, it told from that date onwards, you can better need not paid your interest and penalty. You would have paid your tax only. Inside, if you have paid penalty and interest without waiting for the scheme, then absolutely your amount is lost. So you will be unnecessarily in a hurry to make payments. Fine, but unfortunately it is not refundable. Slides are not visible. I do not know why I would check up, sir. We will send this DG systems, DTPS will send the PowerPoint for other email IDs.
Right, sir.
So there was a no previous period. Clearly 128 day from July 2017 only your scheme came into existence for a GST. So there may not be any period. Can be application of scheme will be failed in case of period March. Correct interest has been computed. So in all these things, interest waiver, completely interest waiver. Interest waiver means there should be a notice, order or notice, and it should have been pending for recovery, and you have to pay only the interest and everything. You need not bother for the calculations of the interest. Whether the interest is 1 rupee or 2 rupee calculated by the order, you need not bother. What you have bother is whether the tax liability has been properly computed, and you can pay. We also find in many of the cases in the initial stages the officer has incorrectly demanded the penalty 10% instead of the minimum requirement of 10,000 or 20,000 as the case may be for IGST. So our botheration is only this scheme. You have to bother for the full payment of taxes and waiver of the interest and penalty, however method it is calculated. So you don't worry about that. So that is possible. Can we apply convert 74? So it is not possible, sir. 74 to 73 is as per the legal provisions can be possible at the appellate forum only. It is not possible at the adjudicating level, either by issuing. So it can be possible only appellate. So you have to ask for the appellate forum. Consider our case for the 74 to 73. You have to appeal before the concerned officer to convert into 73 by citing the reasonable documentation to prove that it is not a 74 case, it's only a 73, no suppression of facts is involved. That is only possible at the appellate forum. Pending cases in appeal to be concluded, please, here I told already many times I told these things also. Please ask for the early hearing so that any benefit on account of the appeal can be possible. I hope the department will also speed up this appeal procedure very shortly. Even though you can make these things, there is a possibility, so you have to pay the amount, you can wait for that, and depending upon your sustainability on the cases involved. But you can still request for the early hearing for the whichever is pending before the appellate forum. Here there is a link. I already told many people have paid without citing the reasons for the payment. But as far as GST and portal is concerned, they were categorically told DRGR 3 paid against assessment order should be voluntary or others only possible to link. In other cases, it is not possible. Now, if it is a pending case and it is a demand has been issued by the officer, DRG07 is available. Please use the set of the liability. In the case of most of the state government and model 2 states where the back-end process for earlier period was handled by their respective tax authorities, there may not be possibility. Means now you can pay it under voluntary and others, and you can set off after the orders is uploaded, or you can submit your DRG03 for your waiver of the scheme. Order is received, not filed, but the taxes is due. We are entitled for a claim. Yes, the scheme is, I already told, 5 types of scheme is possible. Notice stage and the post notice stage also. There we are told order stage is also possible, and order in appeal stage also possible, order in tribunal stage also possible. All these things are covered. Even if you are not filed appeal, that is nothing but your recoverable arrears. In the recoverable arrears case also, this scheme is applicable. Sir, technical glitches, I told every day GST is working over. They are also each and every time, you know very well, what is the quantum of application, quantum of taxpayers now handling by GSTN. Definitely there may be a problem. There will be a technical glitches inevitable. So that all these, they told in advisories, any issues faced by them, they are advised to inform GSTN portal through that service, so that any technical glitches, don't wait for that, it will be solved on its own. You can having CBSE Mitra is available, Seva Kendra is available. So very many forums are available to help you to understand, resolve these all issues. Don't wait for the technical glitches. In electronic these things environment, it is bound to happen for many reasons without we are aware of. So please kindly take these issues immediately to the respective forum without any time loss. That is the only solutions we can provide, sir. Drop down is, order is not in the drop down, that I told. In the case of some of the model 2 stage or this thing, the may not be uploaded the DRG07. In this scenario, in the first page itself, you have to say that the order is issued offline. Don't wait for that. The first page I told earlier, there are 7 requirements, whether it is clearly asking whether it is a first page is asking whether it is an online offline mode. Please immediately select. If it is not available also, the first page itself you can select not online applications. DRG is also not possible to generate. So DRG03 can be generated, sir, without any issues. Just like that, go and file for the new application, select 735, don't give anything. It will be consisting of multiple period, single period. It consisting of that thing you have to mention what is the reason for that. You can just like that select other 735, that is sufficient. Then you will ask for the overall period, you will mention. Then you have to give split up data for the split up period, and category wise whatever the amount you are liable to pay, then you can pay, save that information, go to next page, set off the amount by cash or credit, give the reason what is the reason you are filing. There is a box available, text box is available, make use of the text box. And also there is a provision available to upload 5 MB document. So nothing prevents you to upload the documents. Please upload 4 documents, a covering letter, you can add other documents, anything you want to say, or worksheet you can add and mention in the box, so that will be easier for you and your officer to take further action as is necessary for either waiver or any other issues. So don't say that is DRG03. I have using it from 2018 or 19 onwards, as early as now. I know very well what are the each and every table I know. So DRG03 may not be much problem. For voluntary payment, it is one of the best method. Then PPT required. Yes, sir, we will be providing the PPT that DG taxpayer service will be provided you at the earliest.
If I may,
Paid up. Yes, this 10. Yes, madam.
If I may interrupt, PPT requests can kindly be shared on our email address because we will be able to send PPTs from there only. It'll be
I
easier.
have shared, ma'am, already by our mail ID. We have shared.
What about the 10%? Sir, if the 10% paid through DH03 or through your APL01 online, that will be getting adjusted. The system will show you only the balance amount. If you filed manual application for appeal, then you have to take into account this DRG03 for which you paid 10% your pre-deposit. Then you can intimate the officer. If this is required for the offline mode, for online mode, I have checked up. I personally checked up. Why I am very confident. I have checked up. Automatically, if you file APL01 online, the system will go to the online DRG07, reduce the 10%, and the balance will be shown as a pending demand. We will verify. So pending demand 10%. If it is a online mode paid for the appeal, then it will be getting adjusted. For offline mode, you have to do it manually. Appeal is withdrawn. In that scenario, if your appeal is withdrawn also, which means your tax is going to be adjusted towards the liability. So that will be no more refund. Excess payment may not be there. So you will be adjusted against the current liability. So 90% balance, you can pay only 90%, not this 10%. Please understand that also. Before making the payment, please make 90%, exclude the pre-deposit paid.
Mr. C.A. Vakesh Prasad.
Gopinath 3.43, sir. Order issued before introduction of the scheme, but appeal was not. So here in this scenario, it is told it is nothing but your arrears not recovered. So here also you can use this waiver scheme is applicable. The applicable means even for the orders, either appeal or not appeal. If it is appeal, it is stayed. If it is not appeal, it is unstayed, it is a recoverable. Thankfully, the department has not taken or frozen your account on account of or collected the amount from the third parties. So this also arrears amount can be also used for this purpose. Waiver scheme is eligible. Please send a request. Okay, just right. Sir, preview of application tax amount is wrongly. See, I told there are some glitches is available. You find. So in all these things, please immediately take this issue to the GSTN portal. I find GSTN portal is very responsive for this particular many schemes also. So they will be immediately resolving. I also told there are multiple email ID and everything is coming. We are also already tagged. So here this payment is very much required. So they are fine tuning this information. So shortly all these technical glitches and this will be resolved. Requesting, okay.
Mr. Vishak, sir, if appeal file
I'm saying if file after 120 days, now showing that this is under submitted status. 120 days, after 120 days. So you can file appeal only 90. After that, it is a continuation period is only these things. Then it may be pending before the officer for the acceptance or rejection of the continuation. You please manually intervene, because we also find in some of the cases, the system will alert you whether I can file appeal even after 20 days, 120 days. It may be possible on some other, because court also permitted some dates. That's why they have not given a strict validation. If you permitted appeal beyond 120 days and the continuation is also not approved, you can intimate to the respective officer. Then as usual, whatever the procedure required, you can withdraw that appeal and you can also undergo for the waiver scheme as soon immediately. Don't wait for that. In the matter is appeal and appeal is with reference to interest and penalty only. Here also we already told that this can be also fine and penalty only. You can also, there are occasions there will be penalty will be imposed 10,000 beyond these things. You can also get a waiver for that penalty, even if the order consisting of issued under section 73 but only imposed a fine and penalty, that is also eligible for the waiver. That is already clarified by the board.
The question here is that if that appeal is decided in favor of the appellant, is there any application to be submitted? It really is up to you. If the appeal is in your favor, then you need not necessarily file any application, because this application will also give you only waiver of interest and
waiver.
Nothing else.
Nothing more. What is the time limit to file appeal for conversion? So here it is a conversion is a normal appeal period. Normally the 90 days plus 120 days with the continuation, or as the case may be, intervention of writ petitions. There you have to come back to the respective authorities, either adjudicating authority or the appellate authority would have been decided. They can decide section 74. That is a very clearly mentioned section 75 of the GST Act. So here it is not possible. You have to seek the appellate intervention of the appellate forum or high court or respective courts jurisdictions. Interest, I told many times they calculated, but it is paid today what amount. So I told this scheme is entirely waiving interest, whether correctly or incorrectly mentioned in the order. Don't bother about that. Don't pay any interest or penalty. Whatever the calculation made by this, even if you find it is wrong, your botheration is only on the payment of taxes. The complete waiver of the interest and penalty is possible, whether correctly determined or not correctly determined. So sometimes what we found is some of the cases, lower penalty has been imposed by the department, that is a concerned official. The department has gone for the appeal for the enhancement of the penalties. Here, there you can also file an application, because definitely if there is a waiver is also possible, they can make use of that also. So in that scenario, the department will withdraw the appeal and they will extend the waiver benefit for you. These are special cases. How to file SPL02 for deceased case has been suspended or cancelled. These are the things. Okay, I will take a note of, and we will also study this issue. These are very special cases. So there normally as per the legal provisions of section, that is these things, the legal hire can also apply for that. In that scenario, it may not be online, it may be offline possibilities. The legal hires can be also approach 128A for the waiver. Definitely that is possible. If it is not possible online, offline it is possible. If you are also the deceased person, there are something, either legal person would have been taken the subsequent operations as per the legal provisions, or if they are not done, then you have to decide based on these things. Still that person is eligible for the waiver of 128A as per the recovery proceedings as per the department. That's the GST Acts prevalent as per the GST Act 2017 for now. That is okay. 4.9. Yes, whether it is audit team or whoever asks you for the payment of interest, interest scheme is waiver. Totally waiver, whether only one condition, whether notice has been issued. Sir, no notice issued, sir. We cannot have it. These case, section 73 notice has been issued for the tax demanded and the interest demanded and penalty demanded. So if there is a no notice, you cannot come under the scheme. Either the minimum requirement is either a notice or order is required for the get into this particular scheme. Just a mere memos and DRG1 is not necessary. DRG1 already goes, because DRG1 is your notice. DRG1A is a pre-consultative notice only. It is maybe or may not be. So there we cannot have any locus standi. Sir, here these questions is miskin 412. All section 74 cases, if notice is issued, all these things, you have to approach in the appellate forum, sir. Here it is not possible. So that is my answer. I cannot go beyond that. Can I request to rectify 74? Yes, it is not rectification of order, it is a appellate order only. Rectification is entirely different. It is a 161. There is a error apparent on the face of the order, but here it is not considered as a rectification. It is a appellate forum has to decide whether it is a sustainable under section 73 or 74. So appellate forum may consider your cases. There you are expected to file only a appellate forum, not at the adjudicating authority. So 2021. So this is completely outside the scope of today's session. I'm sorry, I'm
Yes, sir.
unable
Yes,
to
sir.
answer this question, sir.
You can leave
Yes,
this.
sir.
You can
Yes,
leave
sir.
this, Venkateshwarji. Go ahead.
64. send a pilot in the same reflection AC dashboard. What is, see, I told you here the AC can take action after 1/7/2025. So you wait for that period, definitely he will be taking action, because now the 6 months period for your section 16.4 is applicable up to 7/4/2025. So they do not, the department do not want to hurriedly complete this. They will be shortly going to handle all this issue, because right now I feel department officer overloaded with the notice issued, orders issued for the period 2020-21, and 28th February is the cutoff date. So everybody is busy. Once that is over, then this main work will be befall or their head, and they will be taking the right decision as per the legal provisions. Anything else, sir? While 4.23
Yes, sir.
can be a simultaneous availed refund of excess tax paid. Sir, this is entirely different question, sir. Discharge tax payment and waiver of interest and penalty. Refund of excess paid, you can consider, definitely, why not? Your liability is only 5,000 rupees, you paid 10,000 rupees. Definitely you are entitled for the refund for the excess payment. Whether the excess payment is on account of that appeal, then we are having separate. Then we are having a excess payment on account of the regular things, we are having a different provisions. So here you can excess payment also possible. There is an order has to be issued and you paid more amount, the order was issued for a less amount, then definitely you are entitled for the excess payment of the thing. That is legally possible as per section 54.
If I may add to the question from Mr. Divyansh Suri, he's asking whether we can simultaneously avail refund of excess tax paid and waiver of interest and penalty.
That is not possible, sir. 128
Processes are different.
That is 54 only. Section.
Processes are different.
Different.
128A is only for
the waiver. You have to cite that the amount has been paid. Spillover amount is there.
And any excess tax paid by DRC3 that you have to apply separately.
You have to go for the section 54.
It will not be a simultaneous.
It's not a simultaneous, both are different.
Correct. Yeah. Megha's question has already been answered earlier. PPT requests. Then at 1625, there's a question, Venkateshwaranji. In case of suo moto cancelled.
Yes, in all these things you have to apply, sir, because portal is not closed for the suo moto cancellation or cancellation. Your GST and portal is still available for you to access. You have to forget your ID or these things, then you can file whatever the application online for the pending demands, which is recoverable by the department even after your cancellation suo moto or on your own. So system permits, you can also apply for that.
Then Mr. Mallinath has asked whether we can file GSTR 1 and 3B before taking amnesty, and in 3B can we use.
That is entirely different. That is entirely different. This is entirely different.
It depends. See, if your show cause is depends on what is the demand for, whether you're allowed to pay through ITC, whether you're not allowed to pay through ITC. So it will depend on case to case basis.
That is cancelled these things or restoration. That is entirely different, madam. Suo moto cancellation or you are filing for the restoration of these things. That is entirely different for that.
Then that 10% free deposit
registration issues.
That question
I already answered. That is paid 10% can be set off towards the liabilities. Pending amount can be paid.
1629 SCN issued, order not passed within due date. What is the consequence? If you're asking with respect to this scheme, then you can, if you think that the demand is correct, voluntarily pay the tax and apply.
Yes,
otherwise, no differences. Then we have interest amount not required. How to file 128A is the entire PPT that Mr. Venkateshwaranji has discussed. If a person eligible under 16.5 now cancelled, not filed, as it is in arrears. Can you look at the question at
16.5? That is entirely different for this, madam. Wherever the cancelled person has are subsequently filed, and that is also falls within the period of November 2021, they can take. But here, the cancellation is not restored. He has not filed return. The precondition for availing the credit on account of section 16.5 is he has to file the GSTR 3B and file the GSTR 1. If he has not done, means we cannot possible. Even though the system is entitled, but only thing is the other supplier is not cooperating with that, it is not possible. You have to ask the supplier to complete the job.
Regarding the interest amount, multiple times question has been answered. Then at 1638, Mr. Arvind has asked tax officer mistakenly gave section 74 instead of 73 in DRC. You can raise it as a technical request, no, if you're not able to opt for amnesty scheme just because of this. If your demand was under 73, and order was under 73, but DRC 7 instead of 73, by mistake the officer has written 74, then this can be raised with system.
So it is only, so there also it is only a rectification by the officer within 3 months from the date of that. Once section 161 will be operated to play. So these things are on the same.
Same question by Mr. Vijayan at 1644. I hope we answered. Appeal not filed after 120 days. Can I file amnesty under 128A?
Yes. That is a dues. Whatever the arrears, whatever the arrears.
Only with respect to interest and penalty.
Interest and penalty.
You should have paid the demand by the
demand. That is demand, arrears demand.
1st March. Please guide me what the query raised at 420. I think we just looked at it. I'll just go back and check once. Meanwhile, you can look at the other question.
420. There are so many questions.
Mr. Miskin, order passed is correct or not is not something that I can comment on sitting here. See, whether that will definitely be looked at by the review section of the commissionerate, and you'll get to know much before the due date. Then
453, one Mr. Rajesh.
that is the last question, right?
Yeah,
Not filed GSTR 9 and 9C for year 2021. Any possibility to get amnesty scheme for late fee? I will have to recheck. In the last webinar, there was a last date for waiver of late fee. I'm not sure.
That is over, madam. That is already 25,000 maximum. That is already over. So that scheme is already out. Then you have to now, if you are filing, auto-populated as per GSTN or 0.25% of your turnover has to be paid. No other possibilities. So, you can at least get the benefit only for the GSTR 9C.
Correct, because the idea was that 9 and 9C late fee were not separately mentioned and 9C is linked. So that is why that waiver was given. And since you've still not filed, then whatever is the late fee is applicable, you'll have to pay. I think with that, we, Mr. Venkateshwaran B has answered all the questions, Ebenezer ji. We can take this forward.
Yeah, ma'am.
I just wanted to add a couple of points. In the initial, in the beginning of the program, Chairman AIFT P had asked about discordance between Circular 238 and Section 128A. I went through both, but I'm not sure if I see any discrepancy. It just says that for self-assessed liabilities, you are not eligible under 128A, because 128A is only for waiver of interest and penalty due to any demands that the department has raised on you by way of some show cause notice. If it is a self-assessed demand that you have declared and you have agreed, then the interest thereon is a statutory liability that you're required to pay. And that is what Circular 238 para 4 serial number 4 has clarified. Lastly, in the same point, it was mentioned that there's a technical discrepancy that the file name has to be alphanumeric in this, and it has to have a special character in GST. And so my suggestion would be, because I'm not sure, we do not have access to how you upload those files with what names. My suggestion would be to raise a ticket to the systems in GST with the relevant screenshots. With that, I think we have pretty much covered a very exhaustive presentation by Venkateshwaran ji. Ebenezer ji, now we can take this forward.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you,
madam.
Thank you.
I hope all your doubts have been clear. Now it's time to give vote of thanks. I request CA Harsha, Indirect Tax Committee Convener, KACAA, Bengaluru, to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Harsha. Harsha, over to you for giving vote of thanks.
Hello, sir. I am audible.
Yeah, you are audible now. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of the Karnataka State Chartered Accountant Association and all the participants of today's insightful webinar on GST amnesty scheme under Section 128A, the CGST Act 17. And also, sir, also covered two other schemes availing notices, ITC for notices or orders under Section 16.4, and also waiver of late fees under GSTR 9C. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Sri Amar Kumar Sinha, IRS Additional Director General, Directorate General of Taxpayer Services, Bangalore Zonal Unit, and also Rachna Ma'am, Joint Director IRS DGTS, for inaugural letters and also sharing valuable time and expert insights and also solving questions and doubts in between. So presence and guidance have truly enriched our understanding of this crucial subject, ma'am. A special thanks to our guest speakers, Advocate Jafar Ali Sulaiman, Sri Reggie Anthony, and Sri Prakash Ayer and Sri D.M. Bhattad sir, for their expertise and perspectives, which provided great clarity and practical insights, and also Ebenezer sir, IRS, Deputy Commissioner DGTS, for hosting the session, which is very important. Our appreciation also goes to Sri D. Venkateshwaran, IRS, for his detailed session and expert analysis, also along with screenshots, making this topic more and process more accessible and actionable for all stakeholders and professionals present today. I also extend my gratitude to the organizers, DGTS, and all the supporting associations, including AFTP, FICCA, and CCC, and Kerala, KSTP, and KSA for their efforts in putting together a well-structured and engaging session. A big thank you to all our attendees for active participation and keen interest, which truly made the session interactive and meaningful. Lastly, I also want to thank the technical team and support staff for ensuring smooth execution of this webinar. With that, I conclude my remarks, wishing you all success in implementing the insights gained today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, with the permission of the chair, I declare the session is closed.